Alright, Saturday morning, back at it. Goal for today is to get the backsplash attached, the bed armor topping on, shelves done, and then laying out my plans for the next step. Haven't decided, after I get this bench done, what's the big plan. Of course, get everything set up on the shelves, move things to the bench that need to be moved here, and then of course the second toolbox. But after that, I've got to map out a plan of what's next. Do I go ahead and paint, or do I go ahead and do the tankless water heater, get this all situated, moved out the way, get ready to get the air compressor. I think I'll definitely have to jot it down and decide what I want to do. I'm going to have to build a shed in the backyard, so most of this stuff can go in there. Some of it I can put up in the attic, but majority of it that we need to have access to, of course, like the scooter and lawn equipment, stuff like that, we'll have to go into the shed. But okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and measure out my lag bolt points for this backsplash, and then go ahead and get those drilled, set in. That should just take a couple minutes, and then I'll start measuring and deciding how high I want the shelves. These two shelves. This shelf, if I can get a better angle on it, since I've got the garage door rail there, or track, it can only, the long shelf can only go up so high, because I want to be able to put like my power tools and Dremel and brake tools and stuff like that up in the shelf without the track getting in the way. So I'll take my biggest item that's going to go up on this shelf and measure its height, and make sure I got plenty of clearance. But I think a good starting point, well, I'll mark something off like right here, and then measure up from there. Oh, interesting. I guess the guys who built the house a long time ago left a little message. What's his name? Huh. Interesting. Alright, well, I'll cut you on when I get this backsplash done, and unless anything interesting pops up. But I'm going to go ahead and clear off the bench, so I have a clean workspace, and take some measurements. See you in a bit. Alright, quick update. Got the backboard fastened to the wall. What's up, big guy? And I'm happy with that, where it's at. Watch your head. There you go. And I got this shelf mounted. It seems to be holding pretty well. And it's a 2x6, so it allows me to do about 2 deep of my cans, so WD-40. I didn't realize I had so many paint cans, but there you go, car cleaning. I'm probably going to thin this out between what goes out in the storage shed once I build it, and what stays out here for automotive repairs and whatnot. So stuff like this cleaner, the stay bill, the inside scents for cars. I'll probably go out. No, they'll probably stay out here. But anyways, you get the gist. Went ahead and moved my first toolbox out here. This is one my wife bought me about 15 years ago, and I've had it ever since. Of course, I'm going to clean it out. It's just got a ton of junk that's just collected. Wow. I haven't gone through this in probably 2 years. Oh, interesting. Some Harbor Freight nut drivers. Some 1/4 inch. Nice. Okay, there's some 3/8 and looks like 1/2 inch here on the bottom. Alright. Storage space. But there you go. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, think on this shelf a little bit, and then how I'm gonna approach the big shelf that's gonna hold, you know, the majority of power tools and some of the bulky stuff. Probably some overflow from this, because inside the cabinet over there I still have, you know, motor oil, the buffer, some parts, and what's up?
Can I plant plants because they only need water?
Well, go ask Mom. She's out there.
Mom's not out here.
She's in the back.
Well, I think I just put water.
And the storage cabinet, still got some stuff that'll end up over here, and in the storage shed, like paint cans, some concrete cleaners and stuff like that. But that should give you a gist of where I'm at. Garage is still a train wreck, but it's a work in progress, alright? But I'm glad I got this little part of the shelf done. Start getting an idea of how I'm going to tie that in. But I'm going to go get some lunch, and we'll holler at you guys later. Okay, back. I've got the brackets for my long shelf mounted. Seem pretty level. I went 3, and then I left this space open. I may do a galvanized steel 1/16 of an inch backing, just so I can maybe put something magnetic on here, or hold. Maybe I don't do the steel backing, but some kind of brush holder, because I've got various brushes for the parts washer. But I left this open just in case I came up with an idea of maybe something that I wanted to hang or whatnot. In the end, if I decide that I don't want to do anything with this, I can always come in and put another bracket in. But most of the heavy stuff I'll migrate over into this, and then this stuff will probably be like the orbital buffer, you know, waxes and whatnot, a bucket. I don't know, we'll see. But these were a pain to install. There's not much depth here, so what I had to do was, once I marked it and leveled it, took the bracket, moved the bracket away, and then pre-drilled the holes. And then this one I could drive in with my cordless impact, but cordless impact drill. These two I had to do with a ratchet box end. Not too bad. Just took a little bit longer than I thought. One thing I do have to say is be careful when you're using your cordless impact. This little guy has some serious huevos. It snapped that head off like it was a toothpick. But I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I'll try to tap it out or drill it and put a smaller bolt in there or something like that. But you know, for the most part, the side to side is weak, but up and down what counts. Especially once I get the board on here, the side to side will pretty much go away. But the up and down, that stuff it's in there just with those two. I'd like to have the 3, but broken bolt, lag bolt, you can't do anything about it. So my plan is this shelf end to end will be 66.5 inches, and then the depth I'm going to make 16 inches, see how that looks, and if I don't like it I can always trim it down to 15 or 14. I won't go any shorter than 14, just for the simple purpose that a couple of those boxes over there, the way I have them laid out, are about 13 inches long or deep. So just to have an extra ½ inch or inch would be nice. But there you go. I just want to give you an update. I've got these leveled and squared up. It seemed to be pretty good. So now all I got to do is take the particle board. I'm going to take 2 sheets of them to give me about 1.5 inches, and cut this 66.5 inches and then 16 inches deep and mount them. I'll bring you back once I get that done. Alright, got the shelf up, finished. Went ahead and put 3 1/4 inch, two 3 1/4 inch plywood pieces, 16 inches deep, 66.5 inches long. Routed the edges, trim flushed them, so they're pretty flush. But I think this is going to work out really, really well. It was interesting as I was playing around with this, I was able to stack them vertical, so that's kind of nice. So I can just look at them and know what they are. I may eventually put some kind of tag or something like that, because I know these are my AC gauges, nail gun. This will be drum brake kit, drill, and this bad boy. Oh, now what is this guy? Now this is my AC kit, drum brake. Yep, I'm gonna have to tag it. AC manifold gauge set. This drum brake kit. Nail gun. Pressure tester. Drill. Next thing to come up here would be a fuel line pressure tester, but this will probably go in the storage shed. It's a skill saw, circular saw, and of course this will stay out here. This is my Dremel. Then a couple other things will migrate over here. I imagine I'll put my orbital buffer. The router will probably go into the storage shed, since anything that I'm not going to use out here as often as I would, mechanical as far as vehicle wise goes, will probably go in the storage shed. But back to the shelf. Turned out pretty well. I can set them vertical. Seems kind of line up nicely. If I do get in a pinch for space, I could always lay them down and stack them on top of each other, but that came out pretty well. The distance from my garage door track to the top of the highest tool in there, so I'm proud of that. But as far as this thing is rock solid. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I might even be able to use that as part of a bench. But what I was thinking, as I was looking over at this shelf, I may go ahead and get some more brackets. Probably put one here, and then on the edge, and then have my toolbox centered in between the two brackets, and then bring out another shelf, probably about 12 to 13 inches deep, just because I don't need it to be that far back to where I can't reach something. So I figure from this point back should be pretty good. But all in all, it's coming together. I mean, definitely as I saw it in my mind, so that's good. Still got to do this workbench top with the Dupla color bed armor, but I'm in no rush to do that. The other thing I thought was pretty interesting was this plug worked out pretty well. It's almost center to the workbench. It's about 3 inches off to the right. But as I've been using my power tools, I've been able to plug it in and go from side to side without any problems. At first, when I started this, I figured, I'll go ahead and work off of this outlet until I get everything done, and then I was going to put in probably 2 or 3 more, maybe another one here, another one down there. I may still do that, but at least now I'm not going to be in a pinch to rush through it, because I'm still thinking about this backsplash. May raise this plug up and just have a solid backsplash. I don't know. Still playing around with that idea, but hey, it doesn't all have to be perfect and done in one weekend. This is probably going to be a living project, but I'll bring you guys along as I do little tweaks. But I'm certainly not done. I'm going to go in and get something to eat, play with the kids, harass the wife, and then probably come back out here and tackle it. Well, if if you've been watching this workbench build, I appreciate it. And oh, in the comments, I really appreciate it. I read over them. I just checked back the video, see if I got any comments, because I'm not getting email notifications for anything. And first couple of videos, I do have some comments, so thank you for those. In fact, some of them, one of them was, I believe it was Mountain Goat, mentioned putting a leg post, somewhere over wherever I'm going to put a bench vise, just to make it sturdy, and I think that's a good idea. When I do get to that point, or that stage of putting in a vise, I'll certainly measure it out, because I've got the two toolboxes going here, so I imagine I'll put my vise right about here on the opposite side. I don't know, I'll have to think on it, because I know I'm going to have flammable liquids and mineral spirits circulating through this guy, but then again, I'm not going to be grinding or welding while cleaning parts and stuff, so definitely when I get to that point, I'm going to investigate putting, a 4x4 leg post or something like that. I appreciate the comments, guys. Thank you. It's really a breath of fresh air to get positive comments and even constructive criticism. It's on some of my other videos, there are some real trolls out there that I guess they haven't, I guess they have nothing nice to say, but I really appreciate all y'all's comments and ideas and questions. There was also another question that asked how deep this was. This bench is 26 inches deep and sits about 44.5 inches off the ground. His comment had mentioned, and it was a very valid point, that this edge right here being so far in might clip or knock off some side mirrors, and that is very true. That is something you want to take into account if you're having two cars in this. But this, I love my garage, but when we bought the house, they claimed that it was a 2-car garage, but it's more like 1.5, maybe 1 3/4 if you owned Miatas. But my wife drives an SUV, so at night, unless I'm working out here, this is pretty much Mama's garage. So she gets to park in here. I don't know how that's going to work out once I get the Dakota done, because I definitely want to try to squeeze in some space over there and get the Dakota parked there, but backed in or something like that, so logistically I can get in the driver's door and she can get in her driver's door at the same time. But I don't know, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But that was a very good point. If you do have multiple cars, this would be a monster for mirrors. But if it comes to that point, what I could probably end up doing is not parking in the garage and just living with it, or going with another plan, trimming this back some, about 4 or 5 inches, taking this out. But we'll see. It's I've still got months and months and months, even over a year before the Dakota's painted and fixed up and done with everything that I wanted to do, that I need to worry about parking it in here still. Once I get to that point, that is going to be a valid concern. But back to the comments again. I just want to say thank you again, and it's good stuff. And thank you for watching, taking the time and giving me your thoughts and ideas and whatnot. But I will go back through the comments again tonight and see if there are any questions or concerns that I missed, and I'll try to get them on the next video. But hopefully tonight I'll get to work on it some more. If not, I'm going to hit it again tomorrow and see what I can come up with. Alright guys, there you go. Shelf's done. I'm almost to the point where I can put the bed armor on here and then really start moving this stuff around. Alright guys, I hope y'all have a good evening and a good weekend. We'll talk to y'all later.